The craziest interrogation of evil parents. The Child Protective Service's decision to remove the two oldest children from Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari's custody was based on the discovery of tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, in the children's system at birth. THC is the psychoactive component found in marijuana, and its presence in a child's system is a red flag for Child Protective Services. The couple's beliefs and actions also raised concerns. They were conservative Christians who lived on a farm in Michigan and had made several creepy handmade placards around their property. They also shared videos and Facebook posts that demonstrated their mistrust of the medical establishment and Seth's religious beliefs. On August 1st, 2018, their 10-month-old baby, Mary Welch, was found dead in her crib. The parents waited an hour and a half to call 911 after consulting with their lawyer. The medical examination showed that Mary had died of malnutrition and dehydration, and the parents denied the accusations of malnutrition. The tragic death of their infant, coupled with a history of drug use and their unusual beliefs and behavior, led Child Protective Services to revoke custody of the two oldest children. The decision to remove children from their parents' care is not taken lightly, and it is often the last resort to protect children's safety and well-being. The events leading up to the discovery of Mary Welch's death began in 2014 when Child Protective Services made a petition to revoke custody. However, the couple was able to keep custody of their children with the help of a lawyer. It was revealed that the couple had been following a strict diet of only raw fruits and vegetables, which they believed was a biblical diet. They refused to seek medical help for their children, even when Mary became physically sick and lethargic. The timeline of events leading up to Mary's death shows a pattern of neglect and a lack of regard for her well-being. The parents' mistrust of the medical establishment and adherence to strict religious beliefs ultimately resulted in tragedy. When Seth Welch made the 911 call to report that his 10-month-old daughter was not breathing. During the call, Welch remained calm and composed despite the urgency of the situation. He provided the operator with his address and calmly answered the operator's questions about his daughter's condition, but he did not seem to be in a hurry to get off the phone and seek help. The recording of the 911 call was released to the public, and many people were disturbed by Welch's demeanor during the call. Critics of the couple argued that the delay in calling 911 and Welch's calm demeanor on the call indicated a lack of concern for his daughter's welfare. Others suggested that the couple's religious beliefs may have played a role in their decision-making process. Some have speculated that this mistrust may have led them to delay seeking medical help for their daughter and contributed to her death. The condition of the home where Mary Welch was found dead was reportedly very poor. There were dirty dishes piled up in the sink, the house was cluttered and dirty, and there was evidence of rodent infestation. The family also reportedly did not have running water or working utilities, and the children were often seen wearing dirty and torn clothing. Some of the children were also reportedly sleeping on the floor. Neighbors and acquaintances reported that the family was very isolated and did not interact much with the community. They also reported that Seth Welch had expressed extreme views on topics such as religion and healthcare, and that he did not believe in taking his children to the doctor. Tatiana Fusari reportedly shared these beliefs. The living conditions of the family and the state of their home raised concerns about the level of neglect that the children may have been subjected to. The lack of basic amenities such as running water and utilities, combined with the reportedly extreme beliefs of the parents, suggest that the children may not have received proper care or medical attention. These factors likely contributed to the tragic death of Mary Welch due to malnutrition and dehydration. According to the autopsy report, Mary Welch weighed only 8 pounds at the time of her death, which is below the 5th percentile for her age group. The report also noticed that there were no signs of trauma or illness that could have contributed to her death. Mary's body had started to decompose by the time she was found, indicating that she had been dead for several hours. The autopsy report also revealed that Mary had not been given any solid food in the weeks leading up to her death, and she had only been breastfed sporadically. Her mother, Tatiana Fusari, had been struggling with breastfeeding and had relied on a homemade formula consisting of raw cow's milk and other additives. The report noted that the homemade formula was nutritionally inadequate and likely contributed to Mary's malnutrition. The report also revealed that the living conditions in the home were unsanitary and unsafe for a child. There were also several animals living in the home, including chickens, and rabbits, which added to the unsanitary conditions. The couple denied the accusations and claimed that Mary's death was a result of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. However, medical professionals disputed their claims, stating that Mary's death was due to neglect and could have been prevented with proper care and nourishment. Further investigations revealed that the couple had peculiar beliefs about nutrition, and they believed that a vegan diet was the healthiest way to feed their children. The accusations of malnutrition and dehydration leading to Mary Welch's death were serious, and they ultimately led to the couple's arrest and conviction. The neglect and mistreatment of children are severe crimes, and the couple faced the consequences of their actions. The couple claimed that Mary was a happy and healthy baby who had a small appetite, and they did not notice any unusual changes in her behavior before her death. In an interview with the local news outlet, Seth Welch stated that we just trusted that God would heal our daughter, and that they had opted not to seek medical treatment for Mary's apparent weight loss. The couple also argued that they had not received any specific instructions from medical professionals on how to properly feed their child, and that they had followed their own dietary practices. They stated that they primarily consumed raw fruits and vegetables, and that they had breastfed their children for extended periods of time. Seth Welch also claimed that he had tried to revive Mary through prayer rather than seeking medical attention. The presence of homemade placards and videos that suggested a possible mental illness or religious fanaticism. Ultimately, the parents were charged with felony murder and child abuse, and they were sentenced to life in prison. This belief system likely played a role in the parents' denial of the accusations of malnutrition and dehydration leading to Mary's death. They may have believed that their faith-based approach to parenting was superior to traditional medical care, and that they were acting in their child's best interest. The parents' mistrust of the medical establishment was also evident in their reluctance to seek medical attention from Mary when she was clearly in distress. Waiting an hour and a half to call 911 after discovering their child unresponsive suggests a deep-seated mistrust of medical professionals and may have been a contributing factor to Mary's death. Social media played a significant role in the Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari case. Seth Welch was an active Facebook user and had posted several videos and posts regarding his religious beliefs and mistrust of the medical establishment. In one Facebook post, he stated that he and his wife believed in trusting God rather than doctors, and that they did not take their children to the doctor. This post attracted widespread criticism and condemnation from people who believed that the couple's beliefs had contributed to the death of their child. The couple's property was also found to be littered with creepy handmade placards which the couple had posted on social media. These placards had messages such as "God will judge" and "Trust in God's healing and keep the faith," which seemed to suggest that they were relying on their faith to cure their child's ailments rather than seeking medical attention. The use of social media to spread their beliefs and opinions resulted in widespread attention to the case and added to the controversy surrounding the couple's actions. The case highlights the need to balance religious beliefs and practices with the welfare and safety of children. The legal consequences faced by Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari were severe. They were both charged with felony murder, first-degree child abuse, and neglect, and were facing life in prison. In addition, their remaining children were taken into protective custody. During the trial, the defense tried to argue that the couple's religious beliefs had led them to reject medical care for their children. However, this argument was not accepted by the jury, who found the couple guilty on all counts. In February 2020, Seth Welch was sentenced to life in prison without parole, while Tatiana Fusari was sentenced to 20 to 80 years in prison. The impact of the case on the remaining children of Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari cannot be overstated. They lost their younger sister Mary, and their parents were both convicted of murder. They were placed in foster care and may suffer long-term emotional and psychological effects from the trauma they experienced. Thanks for sticking till the end. See you in the next video.